If you are kayaking through the Florida Everglades and look out across the dark water, you might panic. You'll see what looks like a long black snake slithering across the surface, preparing to strike. But then the snake bursts out of the water, tosses a fish into the air, and swallows it whole. You haven't found a swimming serpent, you found the Anhinga. Commonly known as the snakebird, this bizarre creature has completely broken the rules of being a water bird. It intentionally drowns its own feathers, it swims like a submarine, and it hunts with a built-in harpoon. First, let's talk about those feathers. If you watch a duck land on a pond, it bobs on the surface like a cork. This is because ducks have a special gland that coats their feathers in waterproof oil, trapping a layer of air against their skin. The Anhinga essentially abandoned this tool. Their feathers do not have this thick, oily coating. When an Anhinga gets in the water, its feathers immediately become waterlogged. This sounds like a terrible evolutionary mistake, but it is actually a genius hunting strategy. Trapped air creates buoyancy, making it incredibly difficult to stay underwater. Because the Anhinga is completely soaked, it loses all its buoyancy and sinks like a stone. This allows it to swim stealthily, completely submerged, or cruise just beneath the surface with only its long neck sticking out, creating that famous snake illusion. But swimming underwater is only half the battle. How does a bird catch a slippery little fish in a dark swamp? It doesn't bite them, it stabs them. The Anhinga's neck contains specially modified vertebrae that act exactly like a spring-loaded hinge. As it stalks a fish through the underwater weeds, the bird pulls its neck back into an S shape. When it gets close enough, it releases the biological spring. The head shoots forward with terrifying speed, and the bird literally impales the fish on its razor-sharp, slightly serrated beak. Once the fish is skewered, the Anhinga swims to the surface. With a quick snap of its neck, it tosses the fish into the air, catches it, and swallows it head first so the fish's fins don't get stuck in its throat. However, being a waterlogged submarine has one massive drawback. It makes you heavy, and it makes you freezing cold. When an Anhinga is done hunting, it struggles to fly out of the water. It will climb up onto a branch and strike a very famous pose. It stands facing the sun with its wings spread wide open, looking like a gargoyle or Batman. It has to do this. It is literally hanging its feathers out to dry. The black feathers absorb the sun's heat, warming the bird's cold blood and evaporating the water so it can finally fly again. So the Anhinga is the ultimate swamp assassin. It gives up the ability to float just so it can turn into a torpedo, and it wields a spear right on its face. If you want to dive into more wild facts, make sure to hit that subscribe button.